If we can't give to our children and grandchildren a better world, what the have we done with our lives?
12, 13 months ago, I embarked on this mission, and one by one, I started persuading people who had no clue who I was in blockchain to trust me with their pennies and either take a stand, sponsor the show, or dedicate some of their time to grace this stage to speak at my show. And today, I was blessed to have 8,500 people gracing the show for the first time.
The Future Is Now presents Malta Blockchain Summit 2018.
Tell me how you're feeling here. This is, several months after your November events. Different vibe, different time of year. What's happening here?
Yeah, well, what characterizes this industry is it's moving so fast. So after last November, I thought, listen, we can't wait another 12 months to bring those amazing people back to Malta. So we said, let's wait 6 months and launch the Spring-Summer Edition. And so we did. But despite the long crypto winter, despite the bear market, despite the European Union elections happening tomorrow, we still managed to get a buzzing crowd of 5,500 people. And I think the atmosphere is very buzzing, also because we complemented what the government was doing on two fronts. So the government is launching a fourth bill to regulate the space of decentralized autonomous organizations. The government is working on a bill to give DAO its own legal personality. So we brought all the blockchain minds to consult with the government on that front. But point number two, the government is also launching a set of incentives in artificial intelligence, because the government in Malta wants to bring all those companies to the island to relocate or co-locate. So we also brought the great minds of AI to the island, so they're consulting currently with the government, thanks to this show.
Amazing, Eman. A lot of people here are from Malta, but you've got a lot of international people here too. Tell me where everybody's coming from. Who's here around me today?
Yeah, I think what makes this show special, unlike shows, for example, in North America, where you have a North American focus, it's truly global. It's been the characterization of a November show. Also, this show, we have delegates from Asia, delegates from North America, delegates from South America. So it is truly a global show where West meets East.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
So good day, everyone. Thank you so much for participating or subscribing to our Global Virtual Summit. I really appreciate you guys that you start subscribing to our events. And now we have a very special guest live from Malta. So we have here the man of Malta Blockchain Summit. It's one of the most famous events when it comes to blockchain industries, and they had invited so much powerful speakers on stage, and they have been very successful into this event for more than 5 years now. So here is Eman Pulis to share his experiences, his challenges, his life changing moments from the time that he started doing events that could empower and inspire all these other entrepreneurs or startups who wanted to venture out your business into the digital space and events. So please welcome Eman Pulis. So hi, Eman.
Pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you, Eman, for granting us this opportunity. And maybe you can tell us more about what you do and how did you start getting involved into the events industry?
Of course. Well, I'm just an events guy, as you hinted correctly. I'm doing events for more than 20 years. Started when I was on campus, throwing parties and concerts for students, and they grew like wildfire. So I've been doing concerts for a long time. But then I got older, I got sick and tired of that scene. And so I diversified into organizing expos instead. And I've been doing this for the past 8 years and I love it.
More than 20 years. I read as well on your bio on Bitcoin Wiki that you had been involved into the universities like sports and other curricular activities. So you run up the honors as well into your school, right? I mean, that's
Oh,
very,
yeah.
yeah.
I was very active on campus, joining most student organizations. And if there's one thing I can tell to the youngsters out there watching us, get involved as much as you can. It's the perfect environment, fertile soil where you can do as many mistakes as you want and you won't be judged for them.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, Eman. So, what are the challenges that you had faced before as a startup when you went back like 20 years ago? You're starting this career of yours.
Yeah, look, I'm a startup romantic, right? So I've been a startup most of my life, except for the past 3 years when the company took off. But yes, as a startup, one thing that I can advise is to be able to cover as many skills as possible. You know, the more diversified your talents are, and the more you're going to cut on costs, and the more likelihood is you won't run out of gas as a startup. So be innovative, be hands-on, get your hands dirty, and stop thinking that you need to recruit the best for everything as a startup. So yeah, that would be the advice I would give.
Thank you for that advice, Eman. I read as well on your bio that you have graduated Bachelor's of Education, Psychology, and Kinesiology. So how did this type of, how did this course help you out when it comes to your current career or your current business? Because you graduated from Psychology, Education. You're also one of the honors back in 2005. So can you share this education background of your students, because there's so many kids out there who wanted to try to become an event organizer and they need some guidance from a well-experienced guy like you.
Yeah, look, I would say experience and learning by doing is everything. So if you look at I graduated 3 times from university. First time as a teacher, second time in diplomacy, a master's in diplomacy, third time in lateral thinking. So very much on the psychology front. And I ended up organizing events. So practically none of my degrees are directly related to the work that I do. But they do give you the skills to think. They do give you the skills to stay organized, to meet deadlines. And I think most of the stuff that I've learned was during my activeness on campus, whether it's joining organizations, whether it's being involved in associations. That's where I learned most of the stuff.
That's very interesting. This is something that the people do really want to know more about this, since it's more of an experience base when your success is actually built on your hard work, experience, and organizing things, and that's really commendable. Now, how did you start transitioning into blockchain and into iGaming? When did you start going into this path where you started doing the events for Malta Blockchain Summit?
Yeah, keep in mind I have 2 offices, one in Malta, one in Manila. And I myself am based in the Asia office in Manila. But I started in Malta because that's my home country. And I started doing events in verticals where the government is actively pushing. And the government of Malta is strong in online gambling, what in Philippines we call the POGO licenses. So I started an expo for gaming back in 2013. Then in 2018, I started an expo in blockchain and AI because the government was also regulating that space.
Mm.
Same thing in Manila. In Manila, you have, in the Philippines, you have PACOR, regulating online gambling. Then you have other organizations like FAB, CESA, who are regulating the blockchain space. So in Manila, we're also doing shows, an expo, in both of these verticals, because we want to complement whatever the government is pushing.
Thank you for that, Eman, and that's really inspiring and interesting transformation of your business as well. I mean, here many people would want to really participate into this type of events because it will really help them out a lot to know more about blockchain industries, to learn more. And this type of events that you are organizing are very packed with knowledge, and you invited most of those top speakers everywhere around the globe to participate. So how did you guys do that? Like those challenges when you start back in 2013, from that on, how did you start working on together? Like all of those challenges that you faced.
Yeah, as I told you before, as I hinted before, I was doing everything myself. I started the first show from my bedroom with a half-broken laptop. And I used to use Photoshop myself. I used to do all the marketing on social media myself. I used to do all the selling, knocking on companies' doors to take booths and sponsor the show. I reached out to the speakers myself and I drafted the agenda. So you need to be able to know your business inside out. All right. And I think that skill at the beginning, especially for a startup that is not raising capital, is very important. So yeah, that's how I started. Then moving on, the company until COVID was employing around 50 people. So we grew a lot since the humble beginnings.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Eman. How about when it comes to the digital payments? Because some of your topics in the conferences are involving more into blockchain-related digital payments. So anything that you can impart to our young minds, because they don't really understand yet what is blockchain is. So what are the other things that you can share with them when it comes to your events, to your shows, and why should they participate into
Oh yeah. Yeah, so come June 8th, 9th, 10th, we were meant to launch 2 big expos in SMX in Manila. But because of COVID, we had to move these shows online. And it's free for anyone in the Philippines or worldwide to tune in. The site is sigma.ph. And we have a very well-curated agenda. So including the likes of Chairwoman Andrea Domingo from PACOR. She's in the cabinet of President Duterte. She's one of the keynote speakers, for example. Yeah, what was your question again? Sorry.
Well, the question is more about what are the other tips that you can also give
Yes, sorry, I lost the train of thought. So yeah, we have 2 summits. One focusing on gaming.
Yes.
Online gaming, land-based gaming, integrated resorts, also deep technology within gaming, so ideal for coders and developers. Then we have another summit for emerging technology.
Yeah.
And when we talk about emerging technology, I like to think of 6 main verticals, which combined together will pave the way for a much brighter future. And those 6 verticals are the following. You have blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, quantum technology, big data, as well as financial technology, fintech. So when you combine all those 6 verticals, sky is the limit in terms of new technology that's going to improve our daily lives.
I see. So
I'll give you another example. Why did we choose Manila? I'm a big fan of the Philippines myself. I love the country, but beyond that, I believe strongly that Manila is the capital, not only of the Philippines, but of Southeast Asia. And when we talk of Southeast Asia, we're talking about hundreds of millions of people, so not 1 or 2 million, hundreds of millions of young people who still do not have access to a bank account. So they cannot be connected financially to the rest of the world, but they do have access to a smartphone. And thanks to that access to a smartphone, all this emerging technology can play a vital role in reconnecting those hundreds of millions of people. So yes, exciting place, Manila. and I believe it has a lot to offer for the region.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. I saw as well on Malta Summit that you are going to organize this virtual summit, where I believe it would be the first virtual summit organized by Malta Summit, and you're trying to invite more of the other participants from, because you cannot do the offline summit anymore, and you're moving it next year. So can you tell us, like, how did you start doing this virtual summit, and how, if I'm a new entrepreneur, sorry, if I'm a new organizer and I wanted to do a virtual summit or virtual conference, any tips that you can help us to start to transition our current events into a digital space event?
Sure. Look, there's a lot of platforms out there, and we needed a platform that won't replace our in-person summit. We believe wholeheartedly that things will resume eventually, and we will go back to organize physical expos. And I'm hoping that will happen by November, when the show in Malta takes place, and by May 2021, when the next show in Manila takes place. But from COVID, we learned a lot. So on top of our physical expo, we will also have a virtual expo. So if I have a client who takes a stand at my show, that stand will be visible for those people attending the show, but a replica of that stand will also be visible on a virtual VR floor plan. So millions of people can practically tune in and experience the buzzing expo environment that we're building.
Do you think it's a really good idea to start switching all these types of offline events to an online event, since we are currently still on a lockdown? And if ever by next year, do you think that all of these events will start switching all to virtual?
I don't think they will switch completely. I believe a lot of business is done face-to-face. People love to meet up as well, because it's not just about flying to a conference to listen to someone speak. It's a holistic experience. You need to meet people, you need to do business, you need to talk, you need to listen. And those non-verbal cues that you get in a meeting face-to-face, you won't necessarily get that online. So let's not kid ourselves and expect that virtual conferences will replace completely in-person conferences. I think the two can live together, but I don't believe one will replace the other.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That could really help out as well all these other event organizers who are now thinking of switching some of their events into the online conference. But that's very insightful. How about when it comes to digital payments? So anything that you can share more about your experiences in accepting crypto as payments on your events? Or is it really advisable for us to, for an event organizing to start accepting digital payments or cryptos?
Yeah, I would strongly recommend it, of course. I'm a big crypto fan myself. I believe we live in a global economy. We live in a globalized economy where countries are so interdependent on each other, but we still don't have a global currency. And I believe cryptocurrency is the way to go. If you look at it and you think about it, our monetary system is still very archaic. And I think COVID also is encouraging institutions to rethink the monetary system as it stands today. So I believe it's only a matter of time until we get everyone on the same boat and to embrace blockchain technology for currencies. That means cryptocurrencies. Yes, we accept crypto for payments, and we're not looking back.
Wow, that's great. So guys, so this is coming from the guy who built his business all around through the digital space and transformed all of these businesses into around the world by connecting them into one very successful summits and conferences. So I can see that he's also built in his ground in Blockchain Island. So Blockchain Island, maybe you can share more information about Malta and how did you start this idea of the AI Summit? Who are the people involved with you? Is it more of a family or closest friends when you start building this? Because this is something that the event organizer would want to know. Who is the right partner for them to build a very successful event?
Yeah, well, it's by the time we started the Aibc Summit, we were already an established company by then. What's important, I think, is to listen to what the demands are out there. And we felt there was a huge need for the market to learn more about what the government was regulating in Malta. Malta has an advantage. It's a small country, and government and opposition, they can slaughter each other on any topic. But when it comes to a topic that is truly in the best national interest, they agree to toe the same line. It happened in online gaming, and it's happening in blockchain and AI regulation. So what does this mean when you have the government and the opposition agreeing on the same direction? That means that the hundreds of companies that want to set up business in Malta, they have the peace of mind that with any change in government, there's going to be business as usual. You know, the worst thing for a company is to offer them instability. If a company starts fearing that there's going to be a change in government because elections happen in any democratic country, and with the change in government, there's going to be a drastic reversal of policies, then companies start becoming a bit scared about setting up permanent office in that country. So yes, I would love to see the Philippines as well, seeing government and opposition agreeing on a more unified message when it comes to gaming, when it comes to emerging technology, because it does give peace of mind to the companies setting up.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, Eman. And that is correct. Government agreeing to some certain points wherein we start to create unified all of our ideas together so we can work together on improving our systems. I believe blockchain, on your experiences, you have seen multiple solutions that could actually help us throughout the Philippines when it comes to transitioning to the digital stage. Any specific companies that you had found in mind that could help, let's say, transform the local businesses here in and other types of local industries?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of great technology out there. Depends on which vertical. No, there's blockchain technology that's being applied for practically any sector, whether it's land registration, whether it's payments, whether it's gaming. So we are still in the infancy stage of such technology, and I look forward to see which technology will end up becoming mass adopted. At the moment, the turf is still open for anyone to really come out with something that leaves a strong impact.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I mean, I think that we have covered so much information coming from you, Eman, and we're really grateful that you shared all of this insights and knowledge about when did you started the events and how did you become more successful. But let me ask you a question. So in the years of your successful experience as an event organizer, which events is memorable and why?
Well, the most memorable always remains one of the first events. The first one, when I transitioned from doing parties to expos. So, until the doors were open and people gave me their thumbs up, you're always petrified that it's going to fail. If people get a first bad impression, then you're doomed. It's very hard to recover from that. But yeah, thank God, the first event went well, and from then onwards, it just kept growing year after year. So I would have to say that the first summit was one that is hard to forget.
Thank you. I think I remember mine too. Mine is more when I first set up Boracay Blockchain Summit. It was the hardest since with a little amount of team and not much resources, but we managed to pull the summit itself. And right now we started still to learn more. To be honest, guys, I'm learning a lot more with his team. So his team in Sigma and Malta, they're really experienced in creating very creative content, and they start gathering all of the top speakers around the world to participate and into their summits and to their conferences. So that's why I really believe that next year's event, when is that event, Eman?
Next year's or this year?
The one that was moved for the COVID.
Oh yeah. So mid-November we have the show in Malta. 27, 28 May we have the show in the Philippines at the SMX.
Thank you. So would you be open to invite our participants here today, or is there anything that you can provide to them, like a gift or let's say a ticket or a pass for them to participate on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would strongly suggest don't wait until May next year. Why wait 12 months? We have a great agenda, great content coming up 8th, 9th, 10th of June. And I encourage everyone next year. Why wait 12 months? We have a great agenda, great content coming up 8th, 9th, 10th of June. And I encourage everyone, go on sigma.ph, www.sigma.ph, and you can register for free. So this one is on us.
Thank you so much for that, Eman. And guys, so I will be dropping the link here on the comment section. Feel free to click those links and start registering on Sigma's event and start participating, because Eman here and you guys are more than happy to accept you guys into their events so that you can start learning more about this space. So Eman, thank you so much for participating into this conversation, light topic about you and your experiences. Is there anything else that you want to impart before we leave the session?
No, anyone who wishes to clarify anything, ask me questions, feel free to reach out on any social media. I look forward to discuss anything with you guys.
Thank you so much, Eman, for that. And you have a beautiful day out there in Malta. And guys,
Thank you.
Yeah, please visit www.aibc summit or sigma.ph. Okay, so thank you, Eman, and you have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.